They pass through our hands dozens of times every day, when shopping at the market, paying for public transportation, paying bills. But have you ever wondered how a banknote is produced? Every day, more than 20 million banknotes are printed worldwide. This means that secure and massive factories in every country are working non-stop. So how is a banknote produced from the very beginning? Let's explore this process together. The first banknotes appeared in China during the Tang dynasty in the 7th century. To facilitate trade, people began using paper money, representing certain amounts instead of carrying heavy metal coins. This system was formalized in China during the Song dynasty in the 11th century, and over time, this practice spread to Europe. Starting in the 12th century, European banks also began printing their own banknotes. Printing techniques improved, and measures against counterfeiting were increased. By the 20th century, this process had become completely industrialized. Automatic machines, security systems, and high precision came into play. But here's the interesting part. Banknotes became not only a means of trade, but also a symbol of power. Do you think digital currencies will completely replace paper money in the future? Or will we always need some cash on hand? I look forward to your comments. So, how does the production of a banknote begin in a factory? The production of each banknote begins with design. The design of banknotes is very important because they feature meaningful symbols that represent the country and portraits that reflect the country's cultural and historical identity. Graphic designers and artists collaborate to create a banknote that is both aesthetically pleasing and functional. The portraits, symbols, colors, and text featured on the banknote are carefully selected. Security features are considered from the very beginning of the design process. Every element of the design is created to prevent counterfeiting. In fact, this is not just a design, but something like putting a country's identity in your pocket. So, what do you think about banknote counterfeiters? Do you think it is possible to tell if a banknote is real just by looking at it? Banknotes are not made from ordinary paper. They require a durable, long-lasting, and difficult to counterfeit material. Special paper, mostly made from a mixture of cotton and linen, is preferred. Some countries, however, prefer polymer or plastic-based banknotes as a more modern method. Security features are integrated into the paper from the very beginning of the production process. Watermarks, security strips, and sometimes colored fibers are added at this stage. Security strips are usually made of magnetic materials and placed inside the banknote. They become visible when held up to the light and sometimes contain information such as the name of the country. Watermarks are created by changing the thickness of the paper using special molds. This creates portraits, symbols, or text that can be seen when held up to the light. One of the most notable features is that watermarks are directly embedded into the paper. They are not printed on the surface, making them easier to distinguish from counterfeits. Do you think that these security measures are sufficient? What other measures can be taken against counterfeiting? In addition, the offset printing method is used to smoothly transfer color transitions and details. A separate print is made for each color. This results in a clear and vivid image. After the design is prepared and the special paper is produced, it is time for printing. This stage is the most important process in giving the banknote its visual identity. First, the background colors and patterns are printed. Then, portraits, text, and other details are added layer by layer. One of the most commonly used techniques is Intaglio printing. In this method, embossed patterns create a texture that can be felt with the fingers on the banknote. UV inks, color-changing paints, and holograms are also added during this process. Finally, each banknote is printed with its own unique serial number. High-resolution scanners enlarge the banknotes and check them down to the smallest detail to ensure they meet quality standards. Microprinting is also an important anti-counterfeiting feature. In this technique, small letters and patterns that are difficult to see with the naked eye are usually placed around currency symbols or within patterns. Additional processes such as lamination are applied to the printed banknotes. This provides protection against moisture and wear. Banknotes are produced in large sheets. These sheets are cut with millimeter precision using special machines. Each sheet is transformed into individual banknotes of standard size, ready for use. The cut banknotes are then sorted according to their value. They are counted and checked by automatic machines and grouped into bundles of 100 or 1,000. These bundles are wrapped with special tape and usually placed in boxes containing 10,000 banknotes. Each box is labeled with the type of banknotes it contains, their total value and serial number range. This ensures that the distribution and tracking process is carried out in an orderly manner. The boxes are then placed in high-security vaults. These vaults are protected by cameras, alarms, and biometric systems. The banknotes are now ready for circulation. They are sent to distribution centers according to the plans set by the central bank. From there, they reach ATMs, cash registers, and finally people's wallets through commercial banks. A new banknote is pristine when first produced. However, it quickly passes through hundreds of hands, gets folded, dirty, worn out, and eventually collected and destroyed when it becomes unusable. What do you think of this process? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. Also, please let us know which product's production process you would like us to examine in the next video. See you in the next video.